I went from stressing over the troubleshooting and learning no-code takes to completely simplifying my work by becoming an expert in one app, Zapier. It took me 2 years to make the switch, but in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly why I ditched no-code tools to go all in on Zapier so that you can skip the years of headache and decide whether you wanna go all in on Zapier too. But first, why should you even listen to me? Great question. I'm Bryce Vernon, I work at Zapier, but because I love it. Before that, I was basically doing free marketing for Zapier because I used the heck out of it in businesses I ran or worked in. I even created a course about Zapier in 2018. So let's dive into what I discovered over the years so that you can get there faster and why right now is the absolute best time to jump into Zapier. When I was working as a freelancer doing automation and building out no-code things or working for a Zapier agency, the biggest headache was all of the different tools. So, you would have, let's see, can you see all this? Yeah. You would have, a system that there were like multiple apps up here, and they would all have to feed into Airtable, and Airtable had, some automations within it, but then there were some things you just couldn't do, so then you would have to connect it to Zapier, if I could spell that, and then in Zapier, right, you're connecting it back to Airtable, and then you're also like connecting it out to all the other systems like email and whatnot. And you started realizing like this whole web here got like really complex, and troubleshooting was so hard, right? So you would be spending, I don't know how many hours like troubleshooting, and then like sometimes you would not know whether an automation would be in Airtable or if it was in Zapier, and like, how does that work? And so it became a nightmare. So Zapier just realized like, why not give people the building blocks so that when you're building a system in Zapier, you can keep it mostly contained all within Zapier. So you could have, a database or whatever else, and then you would have all of your automation run here, and then maybe you have, one of these systems bringing in stuff here, or maybe maybe it is all three external systems come in here, but at least now you have as much as you can built here within Zapier. And this world eliminates a lot of the troubleshooting. And so troubleshooting just got a lot easier. There's also a ton of other benefits, but this didn't happen long ago. I mean, this is pretty recent, couple years tops. And the products that Zapier has built, I'll get to them in a second, they're still pretty new, and most people are still just using Zapier like this. Like if you go to Google and you search Zapier, or even on YouTube, what is Zapier? It's going to be like automation, it's glue, it connects the internet. But the reality is that it's actually just a piece in a bigger puzzle, right? Operations and systems are really what Zapier is all about, and most people are just using it for, A to B to C app connections, which, like we said, is super fragile and involves a lot of troubleshooting. So, kind of going back to my personal story, I saw this and just decided, wow, I see the future in this. I see businesses, like simplifying things, because I had just been in it, working in it. And so I went all in on just talking about this. And as I did that, I ended up getting a job at Zapier doing marketing for their new product. So my sort of passion for all this building is now being used in my day job, which is awesome. So yeah, part of it is I'm going all in on Zapier. I work there, but I do also and have the goal of starting a business, helping other people start a business, and potentially starting like an agency that's not traditional. That's not a traditional automation agency, because you see a lot of these AI automation agencies and like, oh man, AI, this big thing, like we can jump on, we can like make moves. And yes, there's a lot of opportunity there, but anytime there's, shiny object syndrome, opportunity, when you think, okay, you're starting a business. Here, let's move this. Let's start over here. Let's say you're starting a business, or you even have a small business and you're really looking to grow. When that happens, you're going to be like, oh man, there's this one like awesome tool here that we should use. And, oh, this one's really cool. And I love this. And on Twitter, you're like, oh man, what's your tech stack? Or like, here's my tech stack. And everyone loves it. And there's like a ton of likes and stuff. And the AI automation agencies or any sort of agency is like, oh man, people like they need to connect this. Let's provide services for it. But from my experience working in a Zapier agency and doing freelancing myself, this quickly turns into lots of troubleshooting and a huge workload that frankly I've never wanted. Like I've never been attracted to starting an agency where I'm doing a ton of services, a ton of calls, and spending a ton of time troubleshooting things. That doesn't sound so good. It doesn't sound good to me. So yeah, there's this guy, Brett from Design Joy. If you haven't checked him out, I wrote a post about it, how he set up a super simple system and he makes, I think a couple million or close to it a year, or maybe just $1 million, 1.5, I think. And he uses just a very simple system where he hardly ever has calls with clients and he's more just working the system. That's the sort of thinking that has got me into a position where I'm like all in on Zapier. If I'm starting a business, helping anyone else start a business, working as in an agency capacity or a freelancer, a consultant, whatever, I want to pick ideally businesses that are starting out, because when they're starting out, they're trying to say like, hey, what's the best tool for this? What's the best tool for that? You'll get questions where they're like, hey, like, do you have any experience using HubSpot, or do you have any experience using XYZ? I'm thinking about using. People love tools. It's crazy. Like we're in this tool obsessed world of possibility where it's like, no, can we just focus on specific like problems to be solved? So can we just focus on problems and find the absolute simplest solution to the problem? Like, what is that? Simple. What is the simple solution? So when would I be working with a new business or a newer business, I'd be like, hey, don't overcomplicate things. There's a billion tools out there, but that's going to lead to a whole bunch of problems. What you need to do is start your operations as simply as possible. And the one place that allows you to do that is Zapier. It gives you all the tools that you need to build tools out for yourself, build processes, and automate them so that you can scale. And if you need to get a tool, then great. Get yourself that one tool that fills the gaps but can fit in to this larger or more simplified ecosystem within Zapier. To me, this is like going all in on Zapier is the solution to like an agency that's working way too hard, or a business that's too focused on tools and not problems and solving problems. So yeah, okay. So let's very quickly, I'll just touch on the actual products that Zapier has released that not many people are taking full advantage of yet. So what we have is we have tables, and then we have interfaces, and then we have Zaps, which we already know about, right? But I'm just going to put them down here, Zaps. And then they've also, like Zapier's released so many, they went on like a new product spending spree, or shopping spree or something. Like they also have chatbots that go on websites, so AI chatbots, and AI assistants in Central that are like internal things. And then they also have Canvas that helps you visualize processes. So they have this huge ecosystem now that they're building up. And they have like all the money from their decades of Zapier stuff to invest in these tools. So they already are rapidly matching functionality with tools that you might use like Airtable. And yeah, so right now it's like, this is the time to jump in and start becoming an expert, because this is where your skill knowing Zapier as an ecosystem is going to be so valuable and save you personally so much time if you're going to start a business or something like that. So tables, as you'd expect, it's like your database and what's going on here? Your database that houses all the data. Interfaces is like your UI or your like websites where there's like buttons and there's users that log in. And then Zaps are what you know, right? Logic, workflows. And so you don't even need third-party apps. What you need is logic and workflows to talk between tables and interfaces, or tables and more tables. And this is all you need. You just keep building and using Zaps here. And the thing about it is, when you use Zaps between these two, the Zaps don't count as tasks. They're free. They're free. So not only is it simpler, it's saving time or saving money, which makes it like a total no-brainer. So I'm not going to get into all of the specifics here. There'll be more like content and videos about them. I really just wanted to show like why I'm personally going all in on Zapier as I like think about building out like a business, or thinking about moving into like selling stuff that I build. Like maybe it's like a side thing, like an agency or a more freelancing. So if you want to come on the journey with me, then follow along. I'm just going to be sharing more and more about how to build. And so you can become like a Zapier builder, and then also exploring like how to sell and what that looks like. So yeah, the future is bright and I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. All right. I'll see you in some future videos. Peace.